Hello, good evening. It's High Priestess Jamila, and I wanted to come and discuss something very important with y'all. What I'm seeing a lot, and then I've even had some experience with this myself. I've had a little bit of experience with this myself, but I've been running my spiritual business for the past decade now. And you would think that I wouldn't have that problem, but we're not going to get into all of that other stuff. In fact, a lot of my personal stuff, uh, well, you won't really know it unless you hear it from me. And it's kind of weird when you run a small business and you kind of run into the same issue with people. Uh, but it's not real anyway. It doesn't matter. We believe in our spirit guides and what they do, and our gods and spirits and deities and angels. And so we're not worried about that. But what I've noticed and what I want to talk to y'all about is to stop telling people, hey, Stefan, stop talking to people at your job about your personal stuff, your family, in particular, if you're seeking out and you're consulting the assistance of a witch. Um, a lot of these major issues and a lot of the stuff that's trending, which is just a trend, it's not going to last, has really hit hard in 2018 when the next level codependency started. And a lot of people can actually date it back to them, but it's still happening. You have to be careful on these jobs telling these people your business because you never know who you're going to run into. First of all, your family, right? You love your family, you love your children. If you're a grandmother, you love your grandchildren with all your heart. People on the job, they don't love your family. There's going to be some people that are going to be good that you can trust that ain't trying to take advantage of you. But a lot of them look at your family as a weakness because it's another person that they can attack. I had a client like about a month ago who said she caught some lady in her cubicle taking pictures of her kids with her camera phone. You have to be very careful because it's everywhere. They are everywhere. People that are looking to attack you, people that are looking to energy harvest is what they call it, vampiring and stuff. And just by the way, I don't support any level of vampirism at all, even though it's back in the bloodline and the lineage of a lot of us. I don't deal with it at all because the gods don't like it and it's not supported. Um, in fact, I've known many people who have been harmed greatly by spiritual vampirism. So I don't support it, and I wouldn't suggest anybody getting into that. I would say not to do that because what ends up happening is that you end up codependent. You end up um, losing. And see, I'm a witch. I'm not a vampire, so I don't support it. And those of you that may be into it, my advice to you would be to not. I wouldn't even mess around with it. Okay. That are blessings diversion. People that are doing things like that, they are not necessarily supported. They become very, very delusional and they end up harmed. Those people are not going to do well. The way Hecate explained it to me was to stand on your own, stand in your magic, and they almost remind you of, the people that you see darting in and out of traffic and they trying to make it to the red light or the green light. They trying to make it through the green light before everybody else, but then they still end up getting stuck at the red light or worse. So, I just wouldn't be messing around with that, because it's very highly frowned upon, and there is a very surefire and assured spiritual plan that has been put into place for those of you that have been subjugated by that kind of energy. Okay. That's just like, and Lilith doesn't like for it to be called vampirism. It's more so parasiting. Um, think about it. Who's more powerful? Who has the upper hand? The parasite, the leech, or the person that they want to leech up on? So, a lot of y'all will start these jobs. I'll even help you get the job for some of you. And you'll get up there and they'll get to talking about that, people will try to build a rapport with you. And a lot of them are okay, nice people. But it's always that one or two or three that is sneaky and conniving, and you're giving them all of your information about your family. And then these days at these jobs, you got to protect yourself from people that want a job outside of it and randomly getting work done and stuff. So you just have to protect yourself from that, because, and it'll all balance and level itself out, but it's a lot going on that I could get more into. But I want y'all to really be careful with telling too much of y'all personal business on the job. Hey, Trinity, my mother used to tell me that a lot. She said, go there, do your work, talk about the weather, have generalized conversations with people, and do not discuss your personal business on the job. Do not, eh, you know, and you know what? My mother, she worked for the government for years. When she passed away, she was working for Apple. But she worked for the government for years until she started working an outside job. And my mother never had pictures of us at her job. She's like, I don't. She said, you think I'm gonna take pictures of my grandchildren up there to all them people? No. She said, because that opens your family up to negativity, and she didn't want to take no chance with us. So please stop doing that. A lot of the times what I'm seeing during y'all readings, I'll see the Ten of Pentacles inverted or either the Ten of Swords inverted. And if it's not your family, it's people at your job, at your workplace. The less they know, the better. And trust me, they're fishing for information. Okay. They may not do it as obvious as people in social media do it, which the way they do it in social media is they'll tell a lie. They'll accuse you of a lie so that you can start revealing the truth, and then they can get close to your energy. You got to keep these people out of your energy, keep them out of your home. Can't trust everybody, you know? My mother was a very hard working Virgo. Like my mother was the bomb.com. And she ran her own business as a dance instructor. The only people we saw was her students. They would come to the house and practice and all of that stuff. But other than that, y'all got to be careful with these people because I'll see people from the job. Anything that you're doing online, any kind of campaigns, any kind of fundraisers, you have to prepare yourself for people that see that you are attempting to fundraise or have any kind of money opportunity. They are, it's kind of like a secret society, but it's not a secret. Like we can see everything that they're doing. It's kind of stupid, in my humble opinion. It always has been, but it is what it is. So even with that, any kind of money, anything that involves money is going to attract backbiters and leeches. Okay. Straight up and down. And that includes on the job. So a lot of them up there at them jobs y'all be working too. Um, and you never know who you may be sitting in the next cubicle over from. They could be somebody that knows a lot about the occult, knows how to place people under possession, and the next thing you know, you having problems at home, and then you start having problems on the job, and they follow you. It's not just over after you done decided to leave the job. They still follow you. They'll get all your information. Our information is not protected, you know? And it's so stupid because a lot of us that they've been trying to do that crap to, if they still trying to do it in their 50s, 60s, and we in our 40s, that means that it doesn't work, but it does create struggle. And they're finding all sorts of ways to do the most. Stop especially if you done got a new job. Don't take no photographs of your family up to the job. I don't even like my family posting nothing in social media because it's too many of them out there. But I got my peeps protected. So it'd be nice. In the past 8 to 10 years, social media has become a very dangerous place. It has become just god awful. And it is what it is. They go through these cycles trying to feed off of you, trying to be you. When they fail, now they trying to attack you. They go to the church to try to attack it's ridiculous. And I wouldn't want to be on that side of things. I wouldn't. I'm just telling y'all. I would not want to be on this. I would rather go through and deal with what the fuck I'm dealing with and stand in my power than to be down with that clown ass shit because it ain't gonna do nothing but mess them up. They ain't gonna never get away with it. It is never gonna bear any real fruit for them. The fruit is gonna be molded and sour and bad. It always is. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much, and it's interesting you brought that up, Stefan, because gang stalking, the world of gang stalking is not necessarily a thing, but more so a place or a realm. So if you're being gang stalked, you're more so being pulled into the gang stalking world. Whether or not they're able to pull your entire self into it, or either they'll pull fragmented they'll fragment you to pull you in. So it's more so a place, and that's why it's very important to be and stay grounded. So that's why when you look at gang stalkers and they just doing the most, and you like, what in the world, do normal human beings do this? Is this how a normal human functions? No, it's not. And it's like I said, as a witch, I can promise you that I'm human. You can call me superhuman. I have actual blood that runs through my veins and I bleed every month just like every other woman. So, a lot of this outlandish stuff, it just spirit don't really support that. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of gang stalkers, somebody from I don't want to hear about them people. Let me tell you something. Those people are powerless. I'm tired of hearing about it. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something straight up and down. Nobody who is anybody actually cares about that. Again, they in their own little world. They say the same thing over and over again. They said that 6 months ago about Trinity. Oh, you said he recently admitted he lied. Well, you see, Trinity wasn't good. Trinity, did you care? Trinity, like, I don't give a damn. That what I will tell you is that my social media is not, and there is no sector. There's just a bunch of unfortunate, misguided people, is what it is. And my only job is to make sure that none of them nor the people that are trying to do something through them is affected negatively, is what I do. I just protect my loved ones from it, you know. We've been over here watching movies. We watched The Deliverance, which I hated that movie. We was watching Nightmare on Elm Street, and then me and the boys, we was watching a bunch of we ain't thinking about them people. That the more and the more that you talk about them, but look, Trinity, like I Trinity Trinity said, I'm too busy time traveling. I ain't got time for that mess. You know, hey, it only has power if you give it. I guess, yeah. Cause I don't even watch it. I don't watch or listen to it. I just live life, take care of my peoples that I love. Yeah. So, exactly, Stefan. Exactly. Yeah. They tried it, but it's just silly. It really is silly. They serious about it though. Some people that's involved with it, they be dead ass serious about it. But it's, we don't really have any association. Yeah, whatever you do, just do it with love. I don't know, Stefan. Can you confirm if you can hear me? Is the internet acting up? Ty, is the internet acting up? Do you see it acting up on your end? It may have just been like a little blip. Yeah, yeah. I think they can hear me. Okay. Yeah, the whole thing with that, the whole thing with that, I guess you could use that as an example. I guess. You mess with somebody that you mess with somebody that I love, and I'm gonna figure out a way to stop you. And I already did, so it's irrelevant to even talk about those people. We all healthy, we all alive, and we all flourishing, so it's all good, you know. But I think that was the whole point of, But my family, my kids was already in social media. A lot of people was already familiar with us, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't there literally, if you have any fear or doubt about yourself based upon what other people are doing, then it's time to take a real close look at yourself. And the constant talking about the same people, to me, I think that it's codependency, because I've seen people and people that I've known walk away and not say anything for months, and they just keep going and keep going and keep going. So to me, it just it's failure. It's a failed whole thing, whatever they're doing. And I guess it's a few people that are still doing that, that are trying to get all they can out of it. I guess I personally have nothing to do with it, personally or professionally, you know. And just because they have a few people that I've met, like those two women, it doesn't matter. They ain't hitting on shit. They not, because those people wasn't nobody, I guess, until they knew me, which is sad. I wish that I could uplift those people, but unfortunately, if your energy is lower vibratory, it's just lower vibratory. So, and I don't even think about it, to be honest with you. And I don't watch. I don't watch. But anyway, yeah. But be careful on the job, y'all. That's what I wanted to come by real quick. Be careful with that. You just never know what you're dealing with. And it makes my job harder. When people, they want to know your children's names, and it is a real simplified way of providing protection. It is, but you just, once you pick up on stuff like that, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up and down, when you done been through some kind of spiritual warfare, and when you've been touched by that kind of energy, it's hard to get it out. Like, I was telling one of my clients today, when you're dealing with people that are codependent like that, parasitic, I was asking her, I said, have you been constipated? Because you can tell when I do my cleanses on y'all and stuff, it comes out through your poop, man. Okay, I'm just gonna. I know that's TMI. It comes out through your bowels, and it'll come out as dry stool, and it'll almost make you feel sick, to where you got to take like stool softeners, or either like use one of them suppositories to get that out. And it really, it kind of sticks with you, and you'll notice that you won't even be crying or sad about anything. But when stuff like that, like something that's just been like repetitively, you know how they use a lot of repetition, which is why which is why you have to be careful at your jobs. But the repetitive behavior and the negative mindset, it'll just, your ears will, your eyes will just water, because your mind is trying to purge all that negativity. To me, it's worse than cancer. So, y'all be careful with folks like that and keep your business to yourself, man, for real. Keep all your business to yourself. Don't give them nothing. People like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially on the job. Honestly, a lot of I mean, my goodness, I call myself the unwilling, not really, not in reality horror Babylon or whatever. The way they try to put you all out there and shit like that. But y'all wouldn't know a lot of the stuff that y'all know, because I'll just say it. Why? Because people say, well, Jamila, we heard that you like to have sex, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm a woman, I'm a high priestess, but I'm still a woman, and ooh, let's shame you for liking to have sex. Okay. So there was a brief moment where I just put it all out there. I was like, I like to do this and I like to do that. Yeah. And I'll be real sexy while I'm doing it. But that's not, honestly, my preference would be that nobody, you know, because it's unprofessional. You know what I'm saying? But while we're talking about it, okay, I run my own business. I'm the boss. What you gonna do? Fire me from my own job that I created? But and people in social media, they think that that's okay for them to be super duper weird and awkward. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Why would a grown person? I'm grown and I'm not doing anything illegal. So why would a grown person need to feel shamed about doing something that, ooh, let's create some shame, you know? And it's like, I don't know. It's I tend to think that my mind is I will not think. I know that my mind is evolving, and there's some people that I feel like it's de-evolution because what's wrong with you? It's weird. It's weird, but yeah, quit giving out information on the job, man. Let them people, and if they get mad, let them get mad, and they will try to cast spells and use some kind of mind trick on you to try to get you to talk, and because information is valuable, and the less they know about you, the better. And really what needs to happen is that they need to just get on with it, and go away, but they don't. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. mm, All trying to creep up your butt and stuff, and then you never know. So just to be on the safe side, you know unless you already got everything straight when you starting these new jobs, and oh, how you doing? Yeah, let's go have a smoke cigarette together. You got any kids? And how you doing? And it's like unless you know a person, you don't really know those people that you work with, do you? Mm-mm. You don't really know them people. And a lot of people, the majority is fucking up. So a lot of people that are doing things that they're going to later on regret. I'm glad I'm not one of them. I stuck to my guns and kept my head up high. Mm-hmm. And y'all do the same. Okay? Y'all be careful with that. Like I said, you love your family. Your job is there for your security. They there to compete. It's like, but I love my family. Their job is to be very competitive and to play games and to be childish. You know what I mean? And you'll notice that as you give them less information, they start to back up. And then next thing you know, they got an attitude because they know you're not willing to give up your information to them. You know what I'm saying? Because they up to no good. Now, think about it. I've came on here and I said, well, yeah, this is my business. This is how I pay my bills. This is how I feed my family. I've been doing it 100%. I'm not based in donations. I have set prices for what I do. But when when y'all come to me for a consultation, do I come to y'all and say, hey, I have these kids that I got to take care of. So, no, obviously I have a family to take care of. Hell, most of us do. If it ain't your family, it's your dogs, it's your cats, you know, maybe you may have some fish, but that I'm not going to sell it to you and say, well, I've got kids and I've got a family to take care of. And no, I'm running a business and this is how I earn my keep. It's no need for me to talk, if I weren't already in social media and everybody knew I had my children, of course, it wouldn't have never even been a discussion. You see how folks are? They like hungry dogs. And don't matter what race you are, what age you are. Okay. So, anywho, that's pretty much it. I hope y'all enjoyed this little tidbit of Dark Moon Love. I'll see y'all later. I'm about to go. It's time for me to play my little game. I play, it's called Chef and Friends, and it's such a cool game. Hey, street poets. I don't have no members. My channel is not monetized. I got demonetized because of false flagging. My channel has been demonetized for a little over a year because I told people to boil onion and garlic and sage and rosemary on their stove. And I told people to eat homemade um, chicken noodle soup. And they said I was giving out medical misinformation. So this happened, what, 3 years ago? Right, exactly. We'll see. We'll see if they give me my monetization back. But other than that, it's cool. Spirit will take care of us. You know what I'm saying? God will take care of us. Yeah. Thank you, street poet. All right, y'all. Peace and love to y'all, though. Okay. Quit trusting that heifer on the job. 9 times out of 10, she a heifer. Okay. Be careful with that people that be smiling and grinning all up in your damn face. You know. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one, though. Okay. All right. Blessings to y'all. Have a good night. Bye bye.